I want to take the time to congratulate us for moving finally out of this prison of a space. I am very grateful, and everything that I'm about to speak is merely from observations, no complaints. They are complications and complaints, but I am grateful. I'm just speaking from what I've seen. So, some way, somehow, we became, well, I'm just going to speak from my I think, me, and then I can expand it into wherever else it has to go. I became misplaced, homeless, as you could say. And that was in 2023. I got my eviction, and I ended up having to send my son to New Orleans to finish his school year. And then I end up, at the beginning of 2023, January going into February, I end up staying with a close friend of mine and her family. So I wasn't working or anything. It's like I used to have very grand luck when it comes to like me getting a job. Like I could apply for whichever job I wanted and have it. And so when that happened after the eviction and everything, and I wasn't able to like start working immediately, I was out of a job for like 3 months before the eviction. So I had to rely on my family that was staying with me at the time to like assist with the bills and everything. But I don't know if they was being selfish or if they just didn't have it, but we ended up falling short. And so that happened, and that was okay or whatnot. My brother, he was staying there. My sister and her people was staying there, and my mama was there, and then me, my son, and my baby daddy had just recently left, like months before, to like go to school in Louisiana, wherever he was going to school at. So I had already lost my transportation due to like repo and all this extra stuff, because again, I was sharing these spaces and stuff with other people, but they were relying on me to make sure all the maintenance and everything else was up to date. So yeah, it got kind of overwhelming. And then so after I lost my apartment and all that, we all had to go our separate ways. My brother, he ended up getting him an apartment, but I was like, he's a grown man, and of course he wants his privacy, so I'm not gonna just try to go stay with him and be all up in his business and this, that, and the 10. So I went to the north side to go stay with my homegirl and her people. Well, she had her own apartment. I was literally like staying with her mama. Like, it was like they had 3 different apartments amongst their family, because it was like the mama and daddy had their house, had their apartment, then the sister had her apartment, and then she had her apartment. So yeah, I was applying for work and everything, but I was still going through the motion that I was losing everything, like that I was taking a loss. Like I just went from having my own shit to like having nothing. I done got split from my child, and I was kind of distraught about it. So I'm still existing in this other environment and not trying to look how the way I feel, So I'm helping them out. I'm, putting a smile on my face, and for me to stay over there, I was like, cleaning up and helping them with the kids and stuff, taking them to like doctor's appointments and all that, helping out where I could. But I'm still, looking for a job. And then me and my friend, we end up she ended up going off on me because she asked me to pick her up from work, and I was a little late that day, but she wasn't going. That was like the thing that like blew the steam out the kettle type shit, was because I was late. But she wasn't originally mad at me, she was mad at her baby daddy. So like when all that extra shit was going on, she was just like, oh, okay, well, since you fucked up now and this, that, or 10, I can't talk to that nigga stupid and all that. So she tried to handle me away and basically was saying that I had sent my child away and she didn't know that I was going to be so I guess she tried to say that I was lazy. I can't remember the exact words. She was like, I didn't know that you was going to be so like this. I know I've known you, and I know that you always on your stuff and this, that, and the 10. And I'm just like, not only am I going through depression, it ain't been nothing but 3 weeks. I'm still doing what I can, and it's just like you always trying to figure out why I'm not leaving the apartment complex. You always talking about go get out, go have you a little fun, you could borrow my car, this, that, and the 10. And and I'm just like, nah, because I don't have no money for gas and all that, and I don't want to be a burden, so I'll just stay here. So I was only using the car like when they needed me to, or if it was like a major emergency and I had to use the car. And so it was one time that I did go out, and then she was like, oh well, she was like, you been going now, you haven't even been focusing on getting a job, and you done sent your kid off and all this and da 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 da. I just thought that you was better than that. I said, baby, do you think this is a vacation for me? I say, not only have I not been here long enough, I was like, I'm not comfortable here. I was like, I have been having my own shit since I was 18. Like, this is a major downgrade for what I got going on. So at the end of the day, I'm trying to keep my head up and I'm trying to do what I can. But I'm glad to see and know how you really feel, because yeah, like, that ain't have nothing to do with you. I'm not even staying with you, I'm staying with your mother. But at the end of the day, if you feel some type of way because you supposed to be my best friend, you supposed to be the one that I'm connected to, because you're the connection, the source of my connection to this family. And I'm just like, okay, so I must be patient and do my thug thizzle. But if she have a problem with me being here with her family, then I need to I could go back and try to figure out how I'm gonna deal with me and mine. So a month or so I stayed there for about a month and a few days, and I was finally able to get a job at Domino's Pizza, and it was closer to where my brother was staying. And so it was just like it was like a guaranteed hire, basically, because at first they was trying to get me to do home health care at my friend's mother house, but I was like, no, because I'm already helping y'all out now, and I wouldn't want you to feel like it's an obligation. I wouldn't want you to feel like more entitled than y'all already do feel, because I'm cleaning up the same messes every day. Like, don't nobody pick up after themselves, don't nobody do their damn thing by themselves. But no, y'all act like, oh, I got the help, so I'm gonna utilize it to its full extent. And then y'all start like taking advantage of me, and I'm just like, I could only do as much as I can because I'm in a space, so I have to be respectable of the shit that's going on, while also beating the shit I have going on, while also not looking crazy in the process. And like, I was emotional and all, like I was crying myself to sleep. And they had the audacity, she had the audacity to try to check me about some shit. And then while she sent that long ass paragraph explaining that I wasn't shit and basically not doing nothing with my life, her sister, I happened to be chilling at her sister house. I also helped, help the sister out with her kids. I'm helping doctor's appointments. I'm helping straighten up that nasty ass home they have. I'm just really, they wasn't really up to keep people, because the friend that I was, the girl that I was friends with, she was more like me, the one that they was using when they didn't have. So it's just like she would try to put me in that situation for me to be used, because it's just like, oh, you here now, you could take off that and all that. So that's a conversation for another day. But yeah, so the sister in there cooking, and we talking, chatting it up, and then her husband called. Baby, serial cheater. It was like so embarrassing. They made me so uncomfortable in that household. I just had to figure out how I was going to get out of that, because I'm just like, I don't condone it cheating. I don't condone and this fake ass gossiping shit y'all doing. No, I'm just trying to find a place to stay till I could get back on my feet, and this the shit I gotta deal with. I'm like, what the fuck? And so yeah, she on the phone with her husband, and he made a comment, Mexican guy, and she black. He made a comment talk about where your little friend at, or where your friend at, and she was like, oh, she right here in your spot. And he was like, oh, tell her get up. And then she didn't tell me to get up or nothing, but she had like laughed it off and shit. And I'm just like these motherfuckers is playing in my face, and I'm just like, I was kind of shaky, but I was like, I'm not gonna let this shit slide. And so I'm just so she get off the phone, and I talk to her about it. I forgot how the conversation started, but I was like, bro, you and your sister sitting here trying to play me like I'm proud to be up in y'all face doing not having all the shit that I'm supposed to have to provide for myself and for my child, and then you up in there laughing and shit like the shit funny and cute. Like, I'm not no bomb. Like, don't fucking play with me like that. And then, cause I actually got emotional because I wanted to fight, but I know if I fight one, I would have to fight all. So it's just like I had to keep my composure, and sometimes when I keep my composure, just be like, oh, them tears get the raining on. But she started feeling like an asshole or whatever, cause like right before they was on the phone doing all that extra shit, her sister sent that long ass paragraph doing all that. And then I was like, you and your sister really trying to play on my top and all this in the fifth. And then she started talking about I had explained to her about the message from her sister. Then she started talking down to her sister. I was like, really? I was like, both of y'all do what the fuck y'all want to do, but I'm in y'all space. I'm the one. I was like, but it's okay, I'm getting my shit together, and I'll be able to move around soon, because God is gonna make a way. So it's nothing for me to worry about. I was like, but the fact that y'all trying me and y'all handling me like I ain't never helped y'all is just beyond me. Like, these people used to have me borrowing my own car. Like, I would go to work, and I would work overnight, so they'll come pick me up. They'll come drop me off to work, take my car for the day, and then come pick me up. sometimes wasn't always on time. I wasn't always on time for work, and I let homegirl know that, because when she tried to go off on me, I say it was plenty of times where I was late for work waiting on y'all, or trying to, help the next person, so don't come for me. And I was like, you really only upset because you don't have shit in control at your home. But that's a story for another day, and I ain't really mad at you for expressing yourself, but like, you not looking at the full picture. It ain't even been a whole 2 months. Like, bitch, you just upset because you feeling stressed out. You feeling like you can't control nothing you got going on in your life. And so she tried to kick me while I was down, and then I finally got the job at Domino's, and I end up calling my brother and asking him, can I stay over? Can I stay with him? And I moved back to the south side, and I started working. But oh, how did I know that Domino's was going to ruin my life the way that they did, the way that they attempted to. I'm all aligned. I'm very excited. And it was like, I had a very good opportunity to move up in the job if I wanted to, because I had experience already, because my first job at 16 was Domino's Pizza. And also, that was supposed to be like basically that was the last job that I worked for, like a corporation or a franchise, whatever they want to call it. But yeah, the store number was key. The new management had changed, because she had let me know that the previous manager, they was doing some scamming shit, and they end up firing him. So everybody he had in there, Mexican man he had in there, they out left with him. So she basically had to hire a whole new inside, and I was like, okay, well, that's perfect. So I won't have no competition. I could just go in, learn my job, have a great life. And so I started there. Shortly after all that madness had gone on, I was finally able to get a job. I was like, okay, God, I see what you're doing. I see I had to understand who that person was, that she wasn't a friend to me. She was just using me and all that, rada hooda hada, and I just had to really be vulnerable enough to know that I didn't stop being her friend after that. I just was okay with us separating, and we went our ways, our separate ways, this, that, and the 10. But I let her know that that was fucked up. I did distance myself more from her. I was always working, because I'm like, no, baby sis, this ain't that. You already know if I'm working, I'm very unavailable. I can't just be rolling around with you no more. Like, no, I'm working. And if I'm not working, you done already told me how you feel, so now I'm finna make up shit to do. Like, I'm going to have all other opportunities coming in for myself. Like, no, I'm not gonna, no. And so, yeah, that was that. And then I was working there, and I was excited to work. I was doing my thug thizzle. It was like probably about 3 or 4 of us on the inside, and then she hired this other guy. And whenever she hired this other guy, she was like, oh, I used to work with him. It was a white woman that was my manager. She was like, oh, I used to work with him. He was very good of a worker, this, that, and 10. I'm thinking she talking about, like, she excited about a little white man coming up in here to work with her, because she up in here with all these diverse people. And so he comes a few weeks into February, and he is not a little white man, little Caucasian person. He is somebody that looks like a being I knew. And then it was crazy because we was still in the process of wearing our mask, and at the time I haven't met him or whatever. So whenever I came in for the shift of his first day, it was like I had my mask on and I heard his voice first, and I'm like, dang, like he sounded like my ex. Like, what the fuck? I was like, oh my god, here we go again. And that was just off the voice. So I walked to the back, and I had seen him. I spoke. I put my stuff down, and I went to go get ready for work. And then in my head, I'm just like, it's happening again. Like, he literally had the same eyes as my ex, and like his voice was really similar, and like just that hood guy demeanor. And it's just like, it was a very stereotypical thing of me to think, but it wasn't wrong. He was an experience that I was supposed to have. And yeah, but he ends up trying to holler, and I'm like, okay. And this was like the first or the second day that me and him had worked together. He had kind of like, we was already doing some weird telepathic shit that I didn't understand, but I later understood like what was going on. But the first time that I knew that we was in each other's minds was because he was eating, and well, he had got some DoorDash. He was eating, and then and then my mind was like, he gonna offer me some of this food because he feel bad about eating in my face because he thought he was gonna be here by himself. And so I'm just sitting there wiping stuff down, pretending to work because ain't nothing to do. It's slow. And he hits the corner less than 5 minutes later. You want me to order you something to eat? You hungry? You want? I was like, nah, I'm okay. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna say yeah. In my head, I was like, I'm gonna say yeah when he asked me. And then it happened, and I was like, nah, I'm good. Like, appreciate it. I was like, you enjoy your meal. This and that. And then we like, start communicating, getting to know each other, like personal, like you got kids, family, and all that. I wasn't too much in detail about what I had going on. I was just like, they was like, you got kids? I was like, yeah. And it was that. But like later on that day, he had asked me for my phone number. He was like, I ain't gonna lie, I've been wanting your number since you walked through the door. And I was like, oh, okay, well, no. So I ain't give him my number. And then probably about 2 or 3 days later, I had gave him my number, or I had got his number or whatever. But like, I would say a week or two after me and him had started working, I found out about his business relationship type thing he had going on with this YT woman. And then I started like putting together the type of person he is, and I'm just like, oh, he using this woman for money. I don't want to mess up nothing he got going on, so like he need to leave me alone type deal. And though he wouldn't leave me alone. He ain't respect that woman from a can of paint. What else happened? Oh yeah, so she started like trying to, I guess, bully or have like this authoritative attitude toward everybody, because it's just like, oh, her man is the assistant manager and all this. And so she would like just come do random shit like on the computer, the work computer, because she also used to work for the company, but she had got fired for being, her and her mama being like scammers and doing all kind of weird stuff and stuff. They was already under investigation and things. And so like, but he was dealing with her because she was like selling his merchandise and all this, and you know, doing all this extracurricular activity after, you know, after they get off and stuff. He was like, this Caucasian woman was contributing to his pot versus all the black women that he ever had that was taken from his pot, like his baby mamas and all that. So he was just I see that roach back there, so annoying. So he was just really milking it as much as he can, and then it's just like he got comfortable. And this was before he met me. Like, he was, you know, he was all comfortable in his life and everything he had going on. And then he tried to act like it was something different whenever he started hanging with me, like he was in control and everything. But him and that woman was in entirely too deep for me to think that I was going to have that man for myself and like try to help him and try to get him away from all the sins and stuff he's committing and all this crazy shit that he like thinks in his head is going to happen. And it's really not, because he's been selfish and irresponsible with the way he move and the fact that he's trying to take versus, you know, I used to talk like really deep and complex to somebody that really didn't deserve the breath that I breathe. Yeah, so he would like come to the job. He'll be flirting with me, and like me and him was always on a schedule together, and I'm like, damn, I can't get away from this. And like, so I'm trying not to like be uncomfortable with the truth, because it's very uncomfortable, but it's what the fuck happened. And so yeah, me and him, we would like flirt and stuff at the job, and he'll claim that, well, she'll drop him off, pick him up from work, and I'm just like, bro, like, I'm not trying to ruin what y'all got going on. Then I had seen how he was with her little daughter and all that, and it wasn't his kid. I was like, bro, like, you really playing a part. Like, I don't want to stop your money. I don't want to stop whatever love thing y'all got going on. Like, I don't know what it is, but I don't want to be part of it, because first of all, I'm not nobody's side piece, and like, no, like, I'm not finna be a secret. Like, I'm not finna go home with that guilt and that anxiety on my body that somebody trying to keep me in some kind of love. Like, no, the fuck. I was already confident in myself and like everything I had going on, so it's just like I knew that he was a test, but I just didn't understand the test at first. So I was just like, God, I see that you're in here. I know that you're present in this situation, but what is the message? And the message was for me to choose myself, was for me to understand that a bullshitter gonna be a bullshitter, and they gonna be stuck in their ways, and I cannot change and help everybody, because I seen that man was in deep. I found out he had kids. I realized the person he wanted to be in the past, the person he gave up on, I thought I could like rekindle a spark and make him want to be that person again, but he was already too content. He was already too like in his ways to decide, oh, she on to something. But he knew that the feelings that we had for each other were like real. Like it actually happened. Like me and him actually, was intertwined. Like we were supposed to have a connection. And so yeah, I'm just like, bro, like I can't tell my kids this damn origin story. Like this shit not cute. This shit not positive. Like I'm not gonna tell nobody my origin story. Like I'm getting busy with this man at the job. Like I'm having to stand my ground because he keep telling me that he ain't talking to this white woman. Then he find out he is talking to this white woman. Then he find out that the white woman is stalking him because he finally did let her go in her nonsense. And she had got banned from the store because she came in there not once but twice trying to handle me like I give a fuck about a job. And I'm just like, it's not even about the dude that's about to get your head knocked off. It's about the principles. And you ain't got none, and I got a whole lot. And so they had to because she was also my manager's supplier for her extracurriculum activities. Like they was doing all kind of stuff. They was doing, and they was telling me all of it, and I was just like, anyways. But yeah, like. And the manager, she was messy because she would be like telling me the tea about what they got going on, and I'm not telling her how close me and him is. And so I'm just listening in, and then like, yeah, I'm just getting all the information I need. And then homegirl, she ended up like texting my phone and all this and rada hooda hada. But let me tell you how she found out about me. Because after I decided that, I had this dream about him, and in the dream, this was like the second week that I met him. That I knew him, I was knowing him, that I had the dream. And in the dream, he was basically, I was with this chubby white girl, and she was like, I can't find my man. I need to see where he's at and this, that, and the fifth, because I think he left me for this other woman. And then like in my dreams, they be like reality type deals, messages, but they always look so ghetto and and just low budget. So she looking like just some obese white country woman, and I'm just looking the way I look. I guess I was the friends with the heavy set girl, the white girl. And so I was just like, okay, I'll come with you to see what it's about. And he happened to be staying with my brother. How they knew each other, I don't know, but they was all in this apartment. The other woman was there, and then it was like another person, but it was like kind of like a hotel type apartment complex. But it makes sense because before I knew, he was staying in hotels. Like that's where he lived, because he didn't have like a designated area to lay his head, or he was being too stubborn to go stay with his families. So because he was doing all the stuff with the Caucasian girl, and he ain't want to stay with her, he was staying in rooms and stuff, and she would come over there and this, then, and 10. But she had her own little spot with somebody else. Look, A lot of, and it's like, oh, that's neat. Why you was hearing all this and you was putting bits and pieces together? First of all, I wanted to see how much I was gonna put together. Secondly, I was just like, this seems like a good man. He don't deserve whatever inconveniences that has entered into his life. I was like, but because I've learned that you can change, you can grow whenever you want to. I was like, okay, well, if I allow him this opportunity, then maybe he'll grow and develop himself and be a little bit, better for his family. He'll be more of a family man. He was a family man, just not for me. I was the one. I was work bae. Like, he tried to make me feel like I was anything outside, but I was like, no, like, I'm real life. I don't mean nothing to you, bro. Like, you showing me constantly and daily. You say you got feelings for me. I can see it. I can definitely feel that you have feelings for me, but the way you express them, you don't want to have feelings for me. You don't know how to have feelings for me. So therefore, you are just what you are. Some ick. You're just some ick for me. And he didn't like when I called him Nick, but he showed me oftentimes that that's exactly all he had to contribute. And like, the bare minimum, every once in a while he'll give me a lift to go home, because I used to get off like damn near midnight, 11 o'clock, 10 o'clock type hours, and I would walk home and I wouldn't mind. So sometimes he'll give me a ride when the YT woman wasn't taking his money and stealing his cards and all that, because she was connected to the phone that she had bought. So she was like sharing screens and stuff, and she was like hacking into all his. He gave her too much information for him not to want to be permanently with that woman. And it was just like, and I'm feeling bad, because I'm just like, damn, bro, like, you really ruined your life. Like, I'm just trying to save it or savor it and be there as much as I can. I'm just like, no, like, this is getting crazy. Like, anyways, back to how she found out about me. So, yeah, I was just like, man, I ain't nobody's side piece. I ain't finna be doing all this. So after the dream, because also in the dream he was like, we had found where he was staying with my brother and all that in the apartment complex. I mean, the hotel apartment complex. And then he was talking to the white girl. He was like, I love you, I'm in love with you, but the heavyset girl, but he was like, but this is a money thing and all da 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 this da 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 that. And in the dream, I guess me and him wasn't intertwined the way we were on the outside. I just assumed that the fat girl was apparently my part of my subconscious or something that was dealing with him. I don't know. But after that, I had got the answers I needed. Like, and then, like, in person, that's exactly, like, how the situation was playing out. She was, like, his ride to work, because he didn't have a car. She paid his phone bill and all that. Like, all he basically was doing was working. He was making his domino money to, like, take care of the rest of his family, and probably did like small stuff for the Caucasian girl, and she was like doing everything else, but like they was doing it together in a business ship. And so yeah, I was just like, after that dream, I had came to work the next day, and I was just like, yeah, I'm not trying to be nobody's secret. I can't do this with you. Like, like, the only reason that this shit is actually sliding is because I like you. Like, if this was just random, like, nigga, you'd be in jail for sexual harassment. Like, the way you just came up on me and I had to like adjust and allow myself to be comfortable with being pursued while I'm trying to just like work and go home, and I'm just like, the only reason I'm allowing you to pursue me is because I like you. But if I didn't like you, it was just like, but you really kind of forced yourself. So now I'm just like, it was a discomfort at first, but because I'm apparently naturally immune to rape culture, I just flipped the switch and I was like, bro, okay, whatever. You gonna do it anyways, whatever. Just imagine standing there passion, just somebody just gets and you're like, I'm just trying not to lose my job, bro. Like, I'm like, I guess this is the bonus. Like, I don't know, make it make sense. But yeah, so that day whenever I told him about the dream, he was like, he ended up coming to work, but he left his phone in the car. And I was like, dang, she gonna go through his phone. And we wasn't doing nothing but like talking and whatnot. He was like flirting hard, but it wasn't like nothing inappropriate at first. And then she called the boss phone, and she was like, let me talk to him, da 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 da. And so he was like, damn, I left my phone, this and this here. And I'm already like going through this in my head of what had happened. And so like, but I'm playing it cool because I'm just working and minding my business. I had my music playing, and so I'm listening, but I'm minding my business. But it's just like, I was like, you hear the bullshit. And so I was no longer a secret. She had told what's his face that she had talked to the manager. She was like, he's messing with somebody on the job, da 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 this, da 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 da. It's like, let me talk to him. And so they talked for a little while, and she ain't bring him his phone, but she definitely went through it. And I wasn't the worst of the worst because, like I said, me and this man only known each other for like 2 or 3 weeks now. He had people previously that he was entertaining, and then she went back to like years of entertainment. So it's just like, she been with him working as his mule this whole time, and he doing what he want to do. And I'm just like, what in the fuck is going on? I was like, yo, that's too much. Like, I'm really not trying to be involved in all this stupid shit. So I left it at that. And then me and him, we cut back on the PDA or the WDA. And like the next few times that she came to the store before she got banned, she would be like mugging me or whatnot. And it was one night I ended up having to stay late, or I stayed till the store closed because I was helping clean up because they left him with a major mess. Plus he still had to close the store down, and I just didn't like the fact that he was already working so hard and like getting fucked over by the manager and by everybody in his outside life. And it's just like, he's drained, but he's trying to be that strong black man, hard working black man, so he doing what he's supposed to be doing. And it was just like, what happened? What the hell had happened? Oh yeah, so she had he didn't know something on the computer about like closing it out or whatever, so she was outside waiting on him, and I'm in the front cleaning up while he closing out. And she comes in, but he told her the code to come in, to press on the door. And then he was like, come in, I need your help. And so I'm back in the front and I'm cleaning, and she forgets the code. So she knocks on the door, and I kind of chuckle because I'm like, "Ha, bitch, you need me." And and so and so I let her in, and she walked by mugging overnight, and I had just got a new book, so I'm excited about my book. I'm sitting there, I'm reading my book, but me being so nonchalant and just being in my own world and in my own energy, I totally forgot, one, that she was here, two, that me and her had beef. So they finish up in the back, and I'm just sitting down waiting on everybody, and I happen to look up because I hear a noise. I look up, then I look back down, and I read my book again. She had one of those White Claws in her hand. I didn't know that that was alcohol. Like, but I look down, and as I'm reading my book, I hear boo, and I say, it took me a while to process, and then it dawned on me. I say, oh, I forgot me and this bitch beefed up. I say, yo, what's up? I was like, you being weird. I said, what, you gonna fight? I said, we off the clock. I came out my shirt and my hat, cause like, she was like, don't look at me, bitch. And and she was like, she had said that she'll whoop my ass. I was like, well, shit, let's come outside. I said, let's go outside. You was talking all that shit on the phone. You done called my son a bastard. You said you was gonna whoop my ass. I was like, let's go do that. And cause at first I was gonna let it slide. It didn't even cross my mind. So I done take off my work shirt because they say you can't fight in work clothes. So it's after hours. I walked outside. I held the door for her so she could get on up out of there. She was like, Chris, come get your bitch. Come get your bitch. I'm about to call the police. But you started it. And while the whole time she up in there with him, she got the car running and her child in the car. So I stepped to the side as Chris escorted her to the vehicle. And before I knew that the child was in there, I was like, I tapped on the window. I was like, yo, you sure you don't want to fight? I said, you sure you don't want to get this out your system, bro? And then I only was able to calm down because she had the child in the back. But then it pissed me off because I'm like, bitch, you up in here worried about a nigga and your child in that car. Somebody could have ran off with your motherfucking child. You up in here worried about a nigga. You about to get your ass whooped and your head banged into that wall. Into that car about a nigga. I say, man, after that I had no respect for it. None. Whatever I thought was wrong, it went the fuck out the door. And it ain't making no better because she still was like, and then she told him, she was like, because he told me that she told him, he was like, she don't care if I talk to anybody, she just don't want me to talk to you. I said, see, the problem is you got that white woman thinking she in control, then she got you thinking you in control. I say, y'all got too much drama, and that's really not me. And like, like I just really can't be doing it. But after she started like disrespecting him and doing all that, even more, like being more aggressive with it, he like finally cut her off. But that didn't mean he cut off all the hoes. But by that time, I was already just like in my whole little headspace that it was just me and the baby mamas, and I just assumed that he was co-parenting and that his baby mamas was using him for money, and he claimed that they wanted him, but he didn't want them because he said, what young boy say? I'm not hunching nobody. I pay child support. Anyways, these niggas is easy. And then when I started like realizing the type of liar he was, the type of person he was, like, I start falling back. But because we worked together, he always felt, oh, I'll see you at the job, I'm gonna put it a little bug in your ear, finesse you a little bit and make you feel better. And because I'm just like, I'm not finna go to work and have like such a angry demeanor and all that. So like some days I'll just laugh his shit off. Other days it's just like, man, I'll really fight you. Like I can't work with you. Like And he's part of the reason why I was just like, fuck that job, because you feel like you got a hold on me because of some money that you not even giving me, some money that I'm hard workingly making myself, and then you making me lose the money because I don't want to work with you because you being inappropriate, but they want you to work 1,000 hours and all this other shit because they want to work you like crazy. And it was just like, Destiny, you need to, because I kept praying about the sudden switch. I was watching Mike Todd's like sermons during that year, and he had this one that was talking about the sudden switch, how God could just on anybody and they could just want to get their shit together, and be in the process. And I've seen it with me, how I decided to go from being one type of way and decide to get back on the right track and actually commit to it and be an example of it. So I'm like, okay, well, maybe he's supposed to be getting his switch flipped one of these days. Maybe God is gonna work with him. Like, I was writing him prayers and stuff, and I was give him like little notes and things, but because he was still going home to Miss Boo Pow, I don't know if he was throwing away my letters, or I seen that he had like tried to hide some of the stuff I gave him. He tried to like hide it in a certain place at the job, and I'm just like, you putting other people in our business. And then he was like, he had came in and somebody was reading something that I had wrote him. I said, baby, you don't respect me. I said, you not even offering us privacy. So yeah, I cut back. I stopped doing that. I was finally able to be like, yeah, it's me. I'm the one that's supposed to flip the switch. Like, I don't have to deal with this. And then your sexuality, you confused about your sexuality. Like, you put me in all these awkward situations, and like, you not openly saying, that, but I'm seeing the signs. Like, what you got against that gay man that just walked in here and did his thing? Like, all he did was order a pizza. Like, why you trying to fire that man up? So insecure. One. Then he will quote some of the weirdest shit that Birdman said. I'm like, bro, no, like, you really is just somebody I'm dealing with at this store. Like, because I'm just like, the problem is you feel like you could say anything to me, and that's not how this gonna go. And because you think that you can be stuck in your ways and I'm supposed to accept it, I'm going to show you that I could be stuck in my ways and you have to accept it. But he didn't want me to accept it. He tried to start using the people around me to influence me to, deal back with him and all this extra shit. And I'm just like, no, I'm gonna be single. Like, I have made the last mistake that I was gonna make in love. Now I understand hate from all areas, all forms of it. That's okay. I still know what love is, and so I am still open to it, and ain't nobody gonna take that from me. Like, nah, it may not work. I may look crazy because I be like, oh, I'm so in love with this person. Then I flip the script and then I'm like, yeah, I'm out. But at the end of the day, I must stand on my business because ain't nobody protecting me but me. So if I feel like that this shit rocky and it ain't working out. But and what really put the icing on the cake with him, where I was just like, it's a no-go for me. Because during me getting my Orisha reading, the Baba, he was like that I needed to go get tested. And I was like, tested? He was like, do you know anything about that? I say, no, I don't. But shortly after me and him got off that call, I made me an appointment to go get scanned for all TDs. And one of my results had came back, and I didn't know how to read it, so I thought that it had said that it was positive. And so I'm calling him. He ignoring my calls and stuff because this is one of his fake arguments where he's fake mad at me and trying to keep me on standby while he gonna do the family thing. And I'm just like, the fuck? So I called the job phone. I ain't put the business out on the job phone. I was like, yo, you need to call me on your cell phone ASAP or it's gonna be some issues. All calls are recorded. Do I give a fuck? No. I know what I want y'all to hear. So, no, I didn't care. I didn't care that I called that motherfucker. So, when I got there, well, not when I got there, but me and him had finally got on the phone. I was like, yo, you gave me da. And then he started he started sounding like he was like, oh, I'm sorry, but I think I know exactly where I gotta bless me twice. He was like, I think I know exactly where I got it from, da. And then that's whenever I was finally able to read the damn, after I calmed down and, did my thing, I was finally able to read the results correctly and realize that they was all negative. I was clear. I was in the clear. And so I let him know. I was like, you know what? I apologize for talking to you. I didn't talk to him crazy, but I did let him know. And I was like, I apologize for causing such an uproar, this, that, and the 10. And he was like, man, you need to be more careful because you had me calling people, going off on them and da this. Well, first of all, if you wasn't cheating, you wouldn't have that to worry about, correct? So all that did was expose you for the cheater you are. So I am grateful that I was put in that panic. I am grateful that the miscommunication happened, because now I know the truth that you didn't want to tell me. So yeah. And because you like to lie and be sneaky, and because I sometimes want to have trouble trying to understand what's a lie and what's the truth. Look, I want to have trouble. Not I do have trouble. I want to have trouble. I want to believe that you telling a lie. But yeah, I'm just gonna have to keep my distance from you. You can't be trusted. And I'm not gonna put myself in harm's way for anybody that's not me, or my child, Then I done been dealing with you for a whole year and we ain't went on one date. Then the one time we was supposed to go on a date, you pulled up drunk as hell, and then you didn't even have on date night clothes, and I'm sitting here looking like the total baddie that I am, and I'm just like he had a bottle with him, and I started drinking a bottle, because I'm just like, bro, that shit that really pissed me off. He was like, we could go run to Ross and I could grab something to wear. No, because now you spending more money. You claim that you don't have this and that amount of money to be just playing around and spending. So I'm trying to, we was just gonna go eat and gonna have us a little nah. But the fact that you didn't even bring clothes to go eat it, and you looking crazy, and you came like, nah. I just knew that I still wanted to get my hunch on, because I had that little small urge, because I was still fighting that demon, but I was starving it out. That motherfucker is starved out now, done dead. You know, so I was just like, bro, I don't even want to go out no more. Let's just go get let's just go back to your spot, and let's do what we gotta do. And yeah, that was regular. It's always the last time, that goodbye moment, when it's just regular, and I'm okay with it, because it's like, bye, ain't nothing I gotta worry about. Have a great life. I be wanting to be like the best time of my life, that goodbye moment, but it's like, no, you don't want that to be held over your head. You shouldn't even be having a goodbye hunch. You should just ghost them. Just go about your life. But no, no. I had to have some in me, huh? But I had him get some Robinson Outlet, like, cause I'm already confident now that I know that you gay, or your DL, excuse me, your DL, and that you're playing cause he had his wrist would do this when he drink, but he didn't think nobody noticed. And it's like, it wasn't obvious, but the signs were there when you want to pay attention. But yeah, so I left that man alone, and then I went on my journey for me. I continued my journey for me, and then after continuing my journey for me, like, it would be like random, he'll pull up and be like, oh, he want to hang out with my sister's BF, her boyfriend. And so they'll be hanging out, and then he'll be like, oh, or before they hang out, he'd be like, oh, such an Chris outside, or he'll be like, oh, or he'll been done come in and be like, Chris want to talk to you, and he'll always do like some flirting, like, oh, you miss me. And the only reason I would go out there is to like let him know confidently that it is done, and I want you to put yourself out of your misery by stop trying to make it something. Like, stop trying to come around and insert yourself. I was like, because you know you only friends with that man because you trying to keep track of me. He was like, no, that's my homeboy. I come over here to hang out with him. I just happen to ask about you. If that's your homeboy, then that means he know how you play with me. And if he know how you play with me, then why would he think that, oh, y'all think I'm dumb, y'all think I'm fun, like, And so I would smile, and he'll be like, you miss me? Nope. You got a new man one day, and he would be so upset. He'll be like, I don't he told me that last time he seen me, he was like, man, get out my face, because I don't want nobody with you, because can't nobody give you what I could give you. You had the opportunity, and you gave me nothing. Last thing you gave me was a 3-piece Cane's combo meal that me and my child had to split, versus you getting us 2 separate meals. And you thought that was acceptable, but no, because you tried to play with me and my child, and you thought you was going to get away with it, and you thought that it was, you thought that that was acceptable. And then you have the audacity to say, oh, I don't even remember that. So you're telling me you was drunk and you disrespected me and my child and it wasn't even worth sending your memory bank? So we meant nothing? So you just make your situation worse and you just continue to let me know that the decision I made was the best decision of my life. And I have been celibate and in control and in love with myself even more because I loved myself before I met that man. And he didn't like that I loved myself, so he tried to act like loving him was the better option. So I continue to love myself, and I have been, because I thought he was my husband. That's the only reason after 4 months of celibacy I finally had given up to my slave master, because I had to make myself comfortable enough to like actually deal with him in that matter, because he was just violating, and I'm just like, bro, like, we're at work. Then it's like, breathe. Be like, you like him, you just know this place is inappropriate, but yeah, something about him is clearly part of you, and you're not going to get nobody fired because you don't need this job, and you can leave when you want to leave, but he needs this job, so you just shut the fuck up and go about your life while you being harassed into submission. And that's what happened. I broke my celibacy because I'm just like, bro, you seen her touching and caressing all over my body and shit, then going home and messing around with the YT woman, but you claim you don't like her. And then I'm seeing the differences. I'm seeing like I deserve some penis. Like, not only do I look better than this woman, I am better than this woman. And within the last few months that I've known you, I have fed you way more than this woman. So I'm just feel like I felt like it was a reward for me submitting, or me finally allowing myself to be there and enjoy it. It sounds crazy, correct, but yeah, like, and even after I left that job, I was still dealing with him, because I'm just like, okay, now I'm not at the job, so maybe that was the problem, him feeling like he had so much access to me. But no, he tried to take it to home access and basically told me that I was property and I wasn't going nowhere, and this, that, and the 10, and he was going to try again every time I said no. At least 2 or 3 weeks later, he'll be back and all this extra shit. And I'm just like, bro, in any other any other situation, like, this shit would be like some form of harassment. But in my head, this shit is not real. I'm in control. So, like, I'm not taking it as that. I'm not taking it as this man is plotting to, like, keep me stagnant, keep me away from my life. I'm just like, well, he just hating. But he can't stop what God already has for me. So I just must keep continuing on my path. He did get me a little stagnant because he probably had more information than I should have offered, but also because he was my boss, he had more access to me than I offered. Like, it was just there for the grabs. But yeah, like, and the reason he not even the reason I left the job, to be for real. The reason I left the job was because I originally left the job in August with intent that was my last time working in this matrix, that I was going to continue to pursue myself as a singer, as an artist, as a creator, and it was gonna work out for me. I was confident that that was literally my last job and that everything is about to align and I'm finna have my big break and all this great stuff. I am confident that I am there. And so I had ended up leaving, and then like one time before school had started, I found myself like bored or whatever, and then I was like, well, I'm not rich yet, I am bored. And because she didn't like terminate me out the system, she said that she was gonna put me on the leave in case I wanted to come back. No, you only did that because you didn't believe in me, bitch, and like all that extra stuff. So you thought I was gonna have to come back, and so you intended on me to have to come back on my return. So yeah, I only went back because I was literally bored. I loved making pizzas. I would be like, bro, I'm like literally the hottest pizza girl in the world. Like, I would be sitting down making my pizzas. I'll be complimenting my pizzas when they come out. Like, other people was complimenting my pizzas. Like, I enjoyed pizza making, okay? Pizza been my favorite food like my whole life until I don't like it now, but I still eat them every once in a while. But like the way I used to obsess over pizza is just like my whole life. And so okay, yeah, what was I going back to? Okay, so yeah, I went back for a few weeks, and 2 weeks. I went back for 2 weeks, and I only ended up going back for 2 weeks because I was bored, and then school was about to start, so I was like, I'll just get some extra money for my son for school. And then I got there and I instantly started regretting it because I was just like, dang, I just pulled back up to this job like I'm entitled and stuff, like I could just leave and come back when I want to, and everybody gonna be okay with it. And they were okay with it because I am a good worker. Like, I came in there, like, even the bosses like me, like everybody was in love with me. So they say. But when I came back, I was irritated. I had gotten to it with like 2 customers random days. One of them I called a bitch because she was being a bitch. I'm just like, bro, I don't even need this job. Like, I'm just literally here. I was like, but just because I'm here, that don't give me the right to be disrespectful to others and treat people like shit because I don't want to be in an environment that I chose to put myself in. So I got my shit together. I apologized for my behavior to the manager, not to that woman. She didn't deserve no apology. She deserved to get her ass whooped that day. Because she came in at having a bad day. And she should have got her ass slapped with that motherfucking pizza. But no, I didn't smack the bitch. I just called the bitch a bitch. Exactly what she was being. And so I didn't even get written up that day whenever that happened. I got written up whenever they attempted to write me up, because what had happened was I had put me some lava cakes in the oven, and I don't pay for food that I make. Now, if I was on the other side of that register and I was a customer, that's a whole different ball game. I would have definitely paid for it with my discount. But no, like, I'm finna put these in the oven. I just had a very successful day working. Like, I deserve me some motherfucking lava cakes. And so I get so we get to the register. I get my stuff there, and then the other manager that was there, he tried to like make me pay for it. I say, oh, I'm not paying for that. He was like, oh, I don't give this, that, 10, and da 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 da. He naming drivers and people that don't work behind the counter, people that wasn't managers. Like, Like, nah, my quote unquote bitch, y'all gave me a manager position, quote unquote, so I am a fucking manager and I definitely do manager shit. So leave me the F alone. And he was like, I don't give them free food, this, done, a 10. I say, well, you didn't give me this. I did. I gave me this. Now, if you want to pay for it, you can go pay for it so your money won't be off. But as far as I'm concerned, I'm not paying for these. And he had did some weird shit that later on pissed me off, and it sit with me. So he had like gave me this side ass hug, this weird ass shit, and he was like, if you needed help, all you had to do was ask. And then he ran off like laughing and shit. But because I had asked one of the other drivers to take me home, I didn't get to like go back and charge him up and be like, yo, what the fuck you mean? Like, what the fuck you on? Because before he ran to the bed, I was like, what do you mean? Like, what are you talking about? I had the money in my pocket. I just wasn't about to pay for it. And the fuck, like, fuck you. The fuck. So then after that happened, I was like, what do you think? I'm a fuck for a buck? What do you think? Oh, Jason, could you buy me these lava cakes? I don't have the money. I really need your help. Bat my eyes. And I knew it was sarcasm and assholeness because I watch how he handles other people. And like me and him were cool. Like he was somebody that I could like communicate with at the job. But like when he tried to pull that shit with me, I'm like, my nigga, what you want? And then so I end up leaving, but I didn't have to come back to work for like 3 or 4 days, and that shit was just sitting on me. And I was like, man, fuck this, I'm not finna have this feeling sitting on me and not say nothing about it. So I text him, keep the message all you want, and I guess I incriminated myself or whatnot, and I was like, yo, that weird ass shit that you said and that weird ass shit that you did, I was like, that is not okay. I was like, at the end of the day, you tried to be an asshole and very like, and you tried to be funny about it. I was like, I had the money, I could have paid for the shit if I wanted to, but I made it and I didn't want to, so I didn't pay for it. I was like, but you and that weird ass shit you did, I said, my nigga, you dead to me. I was like, cause I don't even play like that. And I was like, and I know you was being an asshole because I see how you handle everybody else. So don't like. And so he ain't responding or whatever. But Chris, my booski boo, me and him was on the phone and he called himself, finding out about the message through Jason and the other managers was talking about, the store manager or whatnot was talking about it, and whoever else was managing at the time. And he asked me about it, but he was laughing. He was like, what's this silly ass message that you done sent Jason and da this da that, and he laughing about it. I'm like, and I had explained to him what had happened, and he stopped laughing as hard as he was. He tried to make it like he was more concerned after I told him the situation. And then he was like, and I was like, bro, you friendly because you just be laughing with everybody and shit. Like, mad disrespectful. Don't even know what's going on. You just be laughing to be in the mix. And I just, that became a whole situation. And then he was like, maybe the next day, he was like, are you gonna go to work because they trying to write you up? I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go to work, but I'm not signing no write up. So yeah. So then I had got to the job because I was supposed to open, but he was asking me, was I going to work, because they was already planning to call him in if I decided not to show up or to walk away or some shit. So I was like, yeah, I'll work. But when I got there, Jason had opened, so he was already there, and I had went to the back because I was early, and then I seen that the write up was on there, and it had said what it said. Then it was like, I'm getting written up for theft and all this. I say, I wish the fuck I would sign some shit that say I'm getting written up for theft, that I stole some food. Bitch, what you think I am, Robin Hood? Like, don't fucking play with me like that. And then he had like a quote from the text that I had sent him in there. I was like, but you ain't have all that shit in there about the part where you touched me inappropriately, about the part where you tried to play with me. You ain't put that in your motherfucking message. And I was just like, it ain't even worth the fight, because these people need this job more than I need this job. At this point, it's a motherfucking game if I decide to cuss them out. So I'm just gonna walk away, because at first I wasn't gonna sign it. I didn't sign it, but I was gonna write "suck my ick" on it, Jason. And I was like, nah, because I don't want them to think that I'm mad or anything. But it's like, I'm not mad, but that's how I felt. Like, that I really wanted him to know that that's the thought that went through my head, and I should have expressed it. But I didn't want them to think, oh, she's an angry black woman, she don't know how to act, she's so unprofessional, da 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 this. So I just let that shit slide, and I left. Cause I had asked him, I was like, I gotta sign that to work, and he was like, yeah. I was like, okay, so if I don't sign that, I can't clock in? He was like, no. And so I was like, all right, well, have a good day. And I had left, and I had a package that was supposed to be getting delivered there from Amazon, because my apartment isn't the most trustworthy place when dropping off delivery. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna get it sent there. So I had text boss lady, and I let her know, hey, because I'm sure they had already let her know that I wasn't coming in or whatnot, but I mean that I had left. So I had called Chris, and I let him know. I was like, my bad, but he said I couldn't work if I didn't sign it, so I left. I had to leave because I wasn't gonna sign it. So you have to go into work, and that's that. And he was asleep. He wanted to sleep in too, and I was gonna let him sleep in. That's the only reason I was like, I'll stay here until you leave. Like, I was plotting. I was like, well, I'll just stay there till you leave, because I know you just got off. You closed and shit. So I wouldn't, like, why wouldn't I go to work? And yeah, I let the boss lady know that my package coming Wednesday, and I'll if I need to cancel it, or can I come pick it up, and then after that, it is what it is. And she was just like, oh, you could come pick it up. She ain't asked me about what had happened, ain't trying to talk to me about nothing. She came to me in a dream, and she was on the phone apologizing for her behaviors and all that, and the other weird shit she had going on. I don't remember much about the dream. I just know that she was on the phone apologizing. And yeah. But yeah, that's just a little story time about this, that, and 10 that has happened, but has not knocked me off of my path to success. It has contributed to the origin story of my success, and I accept it. And I hate that I was put in such inconveniencing circumstances, but I mastered them, and I came out on top. Not the abusers. Their story is exaggerated. Because, you want to know why? Because my absence does not sit well with others. Like, some of the best shit you can do will happen, in my view. I'm just saying.